said, hang on.
Well, I immediately had to start recording because you're fixing your hair.
So rude.
Am I good? Is mine
I can't
straight?
use the tiny screen. I was trying to use the phone.
Should have waxed it.
All right. Go for it.
Is it 8? Day 8?
Yeah.
9?
8.
8?
It's the 8th.
Well, here we go for December 8th. This is day 8 of our little vlog experiment. I had a couple things planned for earlier. I was going to talk about our Volta system and as we drive how it charges back up because we started this morning pretty dead. We topped off our LP when we woke up in Jackson, Tennessee. And now we're here in Memphis. We're actually at the Bass Pro Shops Pyramid. We took a walk in there too. I was going to show you some shots from there. Hey, we'll drop them in. We took a walk inside there. I didn't know there was like a whole cypress swamp inside the pyramid. That's pretty cool. But I had to bring in a ringer because we've got a whole new topic for tonight, don't we?
Yes. For those of you who don't know, I'm a travel labor and delivery nurse. I work on a contract basis and go town to town. For 3 months, we hang out in kind of the same area and help at a hospital that might have a need due to a staffing shortage or a baby boom or somebody's sick. And I step in and cover that gap and do my best to just kick ass and take names while I'm there so that I can really be a benefit to that hospital and those nurses while I'm there. Well, this is my 8th contract, so we've been traveling for almost 2 years now. I was really excited. We wanted to go to Texas. We've been planning San Antonio for probably since we bought the van.
Yeah, we've been planning 2023 as an out west loop the whole time. And we're excited to get back west of the Mississippi. And now the problem is we got a text message on December 5th that said, we're really sorry, but the hospital has low census. They don't need you anymore. And they canceled my contract. So that was kind of like a needle scratching moment. We're already halfway there.
We're in the middle of Tennessee. Now I don't have a job. And more importantly, we don't have a destination and we don't have plans. And I think that's something that you and I really thrive on is knowing what we're supposed to be doing, knowing where we're going, and having everything like flexibly laid out. We have a goal. That's what it is. It's not plans, it's a destination. And we make up the plan in the middle. We fly by the seat of our pants basically all the time. But having a destination really drives us to be who we are and create and live the lifestyle that we live.
At least a cardinal direction on the compass that we know we're supposed to go west.
And all of a sudden we had that, and all of a sudden, zoop, it's gone. What are we doing now? Where do we go from here?
And now this isn't all too uncommon in the travel nurse world, right?
I think it depends. COVID times, it was very common once the boom hit, and then there was like a boom and bust, and afterwards there were a lot of people getting their contracts canceled. I think for labor and delivery, it's a little less common because the need is so high everywhere. This specific case, I think, is a smaller hospital, so maybe, they just had a little bit lower census. They didn't have as many deliveries as they expected. So I guess the answer is yes and no. Yeah, as far as stability goes, travel nursing is way less stable than a staff job. You could get canceled, after you start. You could get canceled at any time. Yes, there's a contract, but it's basically we have agreed to these terms, and if either one of us disagrees, we can break it at any time. So there's no penalty in most cases for the hospital to break the contract for you or vice versa.
And since it is so close to our start date, I mean, you were supposed to start.
I was supposed to start
week.
On the 13th.
What had you already done for this contract?
So I had done probably 15 hours worth of online modules, which is really the worst part of the whole job.
Yeah, everybody's favorite part of starting a new job.
So it kind of sucks to do the hardest part of that job and then not even get the benefit of working it. But my company agreed to pay me for those 15 hours, so at least there's some reimbursement there. It wasn't a complete waste. I'd also already gone and done my physical and my drug screen, things like that. Most of that will carry over. So if I get another contract, when I get another contract in the coming months.
But you get so many physicals and TB tests and fingerprintings done at this point that
yeah, they have my whole identity. It's not a big deal to go do another one. It is what it is.
Had we another question? Did we have anything set up there that's going to cause us trouble when we get out there, like housing or something?
Oh yeah. So we kind of had one time where we booked an RV place in advance and we didn't love it. So we decided from then on out to go and see the area and look around before we commit to anything. So what that means for now, because we have the van, we're self-contained, we have our power, we have our water, it's not a big deal to roll up into a new town or city and try out a couple different places to camp before we commit to one.
Actually, yeah, get eyes on them before we go ahead and book something for a whole month or for 3 months like we did in New York.
I mean, and the campground could be amazing, but maybe there's a long-term camper with some very small, screamy children next door. That's not going to work for me.
How soon do you think we'll be able to get another job? Are we still looking in Texas? Are we looking somewhere else? What's going on?
So the funny thing about travel nursing is it does kind of revolve around the holidays a little bit, or the seasons, especially labor and delivery. For some reason, there's a baby boom in the summers, and the winters tend to taper off a little bit. So I think right now we're probably going to have to finish out the month of December without a contract, because with Christmas coming, nobody is doing the work to fill those roles. Somebody would have to be pretty desperate to work the weeks coming up to Christmas to start a new contract, at the beginning of January.
Now that might not be such a bad thing, because in January, Ohio...
Oh, I was like, what's happening in January? In January, Ohio nursing licenses are going compact, which means I think there's 38 states in the compact now, and I'll be able to convert my Ohio license to be able to go to any of those states without having to apply for a new license every single time.
And that'll open up a lot more options to us as far as which states out here do we want to go to, even back east, although we've done a few states in the east already, but...
So as we speak, I have 5 nursing licenses. Once Ohio goes compact, I'll have 40. So that makes a big difference about where we can travel and how easy it is for us to get there immediately. Because you have to have the license before you apply. That really limits our pool of contracts.
You went ahead and got your Texas license because you saw a few jobs available and got that one, and that's why we've also maintained Florida, because we've been going there in the wintertime and keeping Ohio. You worried about getting another job? Like you say, once we get the compact license, there'll be more options, but...
So it kind of feels like when, you're really excited for plans or to go out with a friend, but then they cancel and you're kind of like, okay, cool.
Snow day from school?
Yeah, I'll stay at home in my slippers and drink my tea. That's fine.
At this point, yeah, a month isn't going to make or break any plans that we have in the future.
No.
We're prepared for a little bit of this instability. That's part of the game.
So, and it's every travel nurse does things a little bit differently. And so for us, it was important that we still be able to be mobile, still be able to handle not having a job. We've actually gotten really specific in our wants when it comes to a nursing contract. I don't want to work night shift anymore. And could I get another contract right away? Night shift, probably. I could probably go to Florida night shift in a heartbeat.
If you went night shift, busy hospital downtown, you could have your pick.
Yeah, and that's just not how we roll anymore. I don't know, maybe we're getting old. We're like...
As we sip tea.
By the fire. We don't have the fire on tonight. But yeah, so we have, we want day shift, we wanted to go to Texas, and we didn't want to be downtown in a big city, which is where a lot of the contracts are. So those stipulations means that we're less stable. And for some travel nurses, that's not okay. Some travel nurses have to have that next job, and they have to know that they're not going to get canceled. For us, I think that's kind of why we designed the van life thing. We have our home with us. We are on wheels. We're not trying to stay in hotels now or to camp with a friend.
Road tripping or not, our day-to-day looks pretty much the same. So now it's just a matter of which cardinal direction do we point the van.
Yeah, where do we go from here? I think that brings us to... where do we go from here? Do we keep road tripping?
No, do you know? Seriously, where do we go from
Tell
here?
us. Do we keep road tripping to San Antonio as planned? And we had some stops along the way that we thought we were going to go to or seemed important at the time. But sitting down earlier this afternoon and talking about it, we're kind of chasing this rain cloud, and we're not sure that we want to keep chasing it. Arkansas is supposed to be rainy over the next couple of days, and that was one of our main trips that we had planned, was Hot Springs.
Yeah, we planned out our route because we wanted to cut through Arkansas because we haven't been through it before, and the cities through the center of Tennessee, rather than going straight south and taking 10 all the way to Texas, because we've been on 10 back and forth multiple times, and you're hitting those bumps over the Louisiana bayous. Boom, boom, boom. the whole state is a bumpy bridge. Anyway, so that's what we skipped Nashville because, well, we've got somewhere to be. Do we want to spend another whole day in a town and set ourselves behind? We're looking toward being in New Braunfels on a certain date. Well, that's no longer the case anymore. And then, how does that change how much time we have to get there? And can our route be a little more wandering, or does it need to be as direct?
For example, it's Thursday, and we thought we were going to have to be there on Monday or Sunday because I was supposed to start work on Tuesday. So that just, our whole timeline just went and got scattered. So
and it's interesting timing because we're rolling right up to the Mississippi River, and it's like, do we cross the Mississippi? Do we hook a left at Memphis and head further south? So those are the questions that are before us.
Are you scared or worried that I don't have a contract?
No.
No?
You're rock solid. She always takes care of it. That's easy for me to say because she's got to do the work, right?
No, it's easy for me to say too. I'll get another job. Somebody will want me. Yeah. Nursing right now, or anytime, but right now as an experienced nurse is extremely stable. I do think I could probably have another contract tomorrow if I was willing to give up some of my deal breakers, like I don't want to work night shift is the big one.
I'm not worried about you getting another job. In fact, the things that we've been working on, like with these videos and with our travel, like she said about it being like a snow day or like canceled plans that you're secretly
maybe
glad
it's kind of a blessing. Yeah.
We can stretch our legs a little bit and have some time to think about what the next big adventure is going to be. And in the meantime, have a small adventure.
Mm-hmm. So we were looking at continuing to follow this kind of dreary rain cloud that we've experienced through the whole state of Tennessee. It's traveling in December. What are you going to do? Well, what you're going to do is go south, and that's what we always do. So we are in Memphis, and we realize that we're only about 6 or 7 hours from the coast of Louisiana, right? And New Orleans is down there. I don't know if we're going to go to New Orleans. I don't know if we're going to go to Pensacola. We haven't really decided any of that yet, but we know we're not very far away from those things. Why stay up here in the cold and the rain when we can wake up tomorrow, well, probably the next day, in the sunshine and beaches? Sorry, there's a security truck driving around in front of us. That's convenient.
Don't mind the flashing yellow ambiance. So you were about to announce the people that were going south, but I wasn't aware that we had made that decision.
Oh.
It sounded like you were like, we're going to New Orleans.
So the discussion that we had earlier is we have these plans laid out, and they weren't set in stone, but they were like, yeah, we're going to go to Hot Springs and see the national park and these different things. And it feels a little bit like a cluster to just be like, no, we're not going to do that stuff anymore. We're going to go somewhere warmer. That was the discussion I had with you, but I said, it feels right. What are we going to do in Hot Springs if it's raining and crappy weather anyway? Are we going to enjoy our walk around or our tour of that town?
It sure does sound tempting to just hook a left at Memphis and head toward somewhere just a little warmer, the Gulf Coast of Texas. And then if we do end up on 10 and still scoot into Texas that way, we've got a friend to visit down there, and we've got the whole West after that. If it ends up being January, compact licensure, the whole world is our playground at that point.
Yeah, I think we decided that we still want to go to Texas. We still want to go west. We still want to go to Corpus Christi, and what's that super far south?
South Padre Island.
South Padre Island. there's some things there that we want to see and experience, and we want to be in warmer weather. We are snowbirds.
It happened, I guess.
Quickly. You spend 2 winters in Florida and you become...
We got weak. Us snowbelt Ohioans.
It's not that we can't do it, it's that why would you?
We already have done it.
Right.
I've seen 2
We've
feet
done
of snow.
enough
That's
of that.
fine. Yeah.
Well, we live in an RV, so it makes good sense.
Hashtag never winterize.
Stop saying a hashtag out loud. It's not cool.
Hashtag.
Oh my God. I can't. That just threw me off. I'm kidding. So I think ultimately we're a little bummed because we wanted to go to New Braunfels and we were excited to explore that area.
Yeah, whenever we pick a contract or a contract picks us, it's like you start researching the town. You're like, oh, there's that cool thing to do, or I wonder what that'll look like. We'll go see this, and we've done a fair bit of that in that area. And San Antonio is still high on the list. We're definitely at one point, whether we work there or not, going to be visiting the town and seeing that area of Texas. In fact, when we first bought the van and we were working on the way back here, we came through San Antonio and we had actually ordered a meal at this barbecue joint. And
This story.
I had the whole meal planned out. We were going to go pick it up. They made it for us.
It upsets
Traffic.
me so much.
They had 10 torn apart. And we just couldn't get there in time. They were closing, and
it was heartbreaking.
I'm still daydreaming about this meal. They call them Lukenbach
Oh my
lollipops.
God, don't get into
It's
the
a quail
lollipops.
wrapped on a stick,
Stop.
fried a whole quail. So one day we'll be back in San Antonio, and I will get me my Lukenbach lollipops.
We were forced to eat. Never mind.
Fried
It's
chicken
fine.
tenders.
Yeah, it's fine.
Microwave.
We're
going
really
across the
upset
Mississippi.
about the brisket and the Lukenbach lollipops that we were supposed to
So we're
have.
still going to Texas. That's what that sounds like.
But we may not be going there
As directly.
via Arkansas,
Yeah.
which is what our original plan was.
Y'all know anything cool to see between Memphis and Lafayette?
That if I'm floundering at all or if I'm upset at all, it's from that, like, okay, I knew we were going here and I could choose any route to get there and I was fine with that, and now I don't know where we're going. So it's almost like you have to trick yourself when you come to like little roadblocks like that. Like, you have to make up your own destination, you have to set your own goal, and then, traverse the route to get there.
Man, that's in so many different ways in life. Setting intentions is so important, and that's why we named the channel Beyond Intention. Is because in everything we did, it was about figuring out what you actually want, and then it's easier to figure out the in between. So right now that first intention got cut off a little bit. Like where exactly are we headed? But that doesn't mean we can't sit back and reevaluate what exactly are we doing over the next month or so.
And maybe that's what we do tomorrow, is to explore our intentions and explore our plans together and have a conversation about, okay, we're probably not going to have a contract until January. That means we have 3 weeks off at least to explore and have fun and make videos. So
we can get into a whole bunch of fun stuff in that time.
If you have any suggestions for what we should do in the next 3 weeks, leave them in the comments below.
Think about Memphis, maybe down to Lafayette area, Louisiana, and then over toward Texas.
Memphis, Jackson,
Southeast
New
Texas.
Orleans, Lafayette. That's what I'm kind of looking at, and then further west. So not Gatlinburg.
That's east.
No, the G.
Galveston.
Galveston. That's that Texas.
Yeah.
That's
Beach
that
town,
Texas town, Galveston, and then just
Galveston.
Corpus Christi, those areas. We're hoping to get somewhere that's not so rainy and wet. We can get outside and explore some of the hobbies that we really enjoy doing.
I like to get west of the Mississippi. There's a whole different set of birds.
I'm sorry for rolling my eyes at you. I love that you're a bird
I thought you were
nerd.
going to call me a nerd again.
I love that you're a bird nerd, but I was just like, birds, but I do like it, or I wouldn't have married you.
Next week, we're going to learn how to play Wingspan. I'm going to set out a board game on the table, and you can all play with me.
Hey, that's a really fun game we have not been doing since we've been doing these videos. So I think that's about it. Do we have any more? If you guys have questions about travel nursing or anything that you want to answer, if you like this, want to ask, if you want to ask us and we can answer, if you like this format of videos, a little bit more conversation, a little bit more chatting, we can certainly do this again.
If there's enough questions, I'd like to do something like this live. Maybe even have a drive time Q&A. That'd be pretty cool.
it'd have to be mostly you talking.
Well, yeah, you can drive.
And I'll just be doing a whole lot of swearing at people.
Traffic reports.
Seems to be the theme of our videos.
And now to Cassandra for traffic.
This semi pulled out in front of me and I'm really mad about it.
Tennessee in a nutshell. This semi.
Sorry, Denny. We still love you.
Oh, he warned us.
Yeah, that's true. He did.
Maybe he jinxed us.
Maybe. Is it just Tennessee, or like, are we just in a bad
There's some big trucking hubs here,
time?
I think.
I don't understand. Well, I think that's it for us today. Do you have anything else to add or say?
That's the big change, day 8.
Big announcement. We were going to try and do something a little more dramatic than just the sit-down conversation, but we couldn't bring ourselves to be clickbaity. Sorry. This is what you get.
It's what we are.
It's very true. So tomorrow we're going to explore setting intentions for what the rest of this year is going to look like for us. And we hope you'll come along for the ride.
It's already weird. I don't know what to do.
What's already weird? It is getting hot.
I stared at the camera too long.
So, like, I don't think about this very often, but sometimes when I do, it upsets me because you have to rewatch all of this shit later, whereas I just get to be whatever most ridiculous person I want to be, and I don't have to worry about it. And then it comes out, it's this beautiful video, all of the psychoness is cut out of it. But, sorry, hubby.
Try to leave a tasteful amount of the psychoness in.
Psychoness.